let me ask you for your layman's opinion. You're not a lawyer, as far as I know, in addition to all those other accomplishments, on this federal district magistrate judge refusing to sign an arrest warrant for Don Lemon, notwithstanding it being a totally one-sided procedure. You know, there's no defense lawyer who goes in there. This is the DOJ saying, here are the federal statutes. Here is how he violated them. Please sign this.
Yeah, well, I was reading about what happened with the storming of the church, and the first thing that came to mind was that these protesters were willing to interfere with the rights of citizens to worship peacefully in order to protect the interests of non-citizens. So it really just shows you where their priorities are. They seem to care more about illegal immigrants than about citizens and their right to engage in peaceful worship. And, I think there's a reason they chose a church. It seems to me that they believed it would be a safe target. I saw some commentary on this, that this shows that they will go to any lengths to advance their political cause, their preferences. But I don't think that's true. I doubt that those same protesters would be willing to storm a mosque, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or an NRA convention.
Right,
Speaking
yeah.
of the mosque, right? Yeah, I'd love to see them try that there. Or even just a convention of Turning Point. You'd have a lot more loudmouths like yours truly, and you at the Manhattan Institute standing up to say, get out of here, get out right now. I mean, it's just, these are sweet, nice Midwesterners, Christians at a Baptist service just trying to worship. But look, to your point, I meant to get to this with Allie Beth and I didn't. To your point, that the main agitator is under arrest, but the loudest is this William Kelly, who 100% is about to get arrested. Zero doubt in my mind. He might already be in custody. Maybe we'll hear about that momentarily. But that same day, he went to the church and did what he did in the faces of those innocents. He went to a mosque, and we have tape of it because he posted it on his socials. Look at this in SOT 9.
So we've been invited to the local Somali mosque, and as you can see how beautiful it is, this is where they do their prayer. This is where normally 500 people will, come and make prayer, but things are quiet because the local community is scared to come out. They're terrified. It was an honor to be invited to this mosque, but it was surreal to be there, and it made me feel good about my actions in that white supremacist church earlier. How can these people be not afraid to go out of their homes, afraid to go practice their prayer, while these rich white people can live like nothing's happening and ignore it completely? It's unjust. It's un-American. What is freedom if it only applies to white people?
Okay, Rob.
Wow.
To your point.
Yeah, that was too perfect. I mean, it had all of the ingredients there. You had, the white person self-flagellating and targeting other white people, wealthy white people. But, I don't think anyone would be surprised if you dug into this guy's background and discovered that he himself comes from, relatively affluent family. This is a consistent pattern you see when you look at the studies and the survey data on who participates in protests, left-wing political activism. They are disproportionately likely to have graduate degrees, come from selective universities. I think they're 3 times more likely than the average citizen to earn more than $100,000 a year. And, it makes sense because if you are a working class or blue collar person, you don't really have time. You're trying to make ends meet and pay the bills. You don't have time to participate in this kind of exhibitionism. Only once you have reached a certain level of material comfort can you start to interfere with the rights of others or to kind of showboat on social media about how much you care about, people who, like non-white people or marginalized people.
I got money that his dad's a dentist and his mom's some sort of counselor. I'm going to put my bet out there early. We're going to find out soon enough. Then you mentioned about how they're all out there to condemn U.S. citizens and harass and threaten and traumatize, to use Don Lemon's word, he endorsed it, U.S. citizens to protect non-citizens. And not just non-citizens, but non-citizen criminals, like the worst of the worst. Greg Bovino, who's the head of the Border Patrol, he actually shared some of who they have arrested in Minneapolis in the past, couple weeks. And look at this. It's not getting any coverage, of course, because the left doesn't want to talk about this. But look at SOT 53.
We've got Hovai Kumaye, a criminal illegal alien from Laos, a registered sex offender convicted of sex offense against a child, including fondling and failure to register as a sex offender. This individual was walking the streets of Minneapolis just yesterday. This individual right here. Let's continue here. We've got Samuel Aravelo Hernandez, a criminal illegal alien from Guatemala, charged with rape and lewd or lascivious acts with a minor. Now, think about that for just a second. Rape, and then on top of that, lewd and lascivious acts with a minor. This individual was walking the streets of Minneapolis with impunity just yesterday. We've got Annabelle Gomez, a criminal illegal alien from Honduras, previously arrested for criminal sexual conduct and domestic assault. Other convictions include disorderly conduct and driving under the influence of liquor. Walking the streets as of yesterday. These are just three that I decided to print out. There's a whole stack of them.
That's who they're protesting to save. That's who they're trying to alert that ICE is about to get them. Like, honestly, it's a mental illness that would make you look at your adorable, sweet, innocent children and say, what can I do to make child molesters more plentiful in my community?
I mean, a lot of these demonstrators and protesters also seem to play this game where they will highlight, children or women or, people who are innocent, but then they are more than willing to come out in support of people, criminals, people who are breaking the law. And I think there's probably this fear that if they give in on the idea that criminal illegal immigrants should be deported, then the next step will be, widespread deportation. So they feel like they have to sort of hold the line for criminal immigrants because once they cede that point, which they would, they're going to lose on. The vast majority of Americans want criminal illegal immigrants to be deported. Then they fear, okay, well, then they're going to go for everyone else. But there's a kind of a subversive element to a lot of these protesters where I think they really do have contempt for ordinary citizens, the people who go to work every day, people who worship peacefully, who think that people should obey the law. But a lot of these activists believe that the law itself is emblematic of white supremacy or oppression or colonialism. I mean, they've been sort of brainwashed and conditioned to believe this, and they get a lot of excitement and pleasure from, I think, provoking people like those peaceful people in the church.
I wonder if they're going to get a lot of excitement and pleasure out of their mugshots and sitting in the local jail, because that's where two of them are right now. We'll see what happens with Don Lemon, William Jacobson. William Jacobson is a great lawyer. William Kelly. I'm in denial about my own last name. No relation, I hope. He's going to have a different experience entirely. So we've got several examples in the news, we just haven't been able to get to them, of school indoctrination happening along these lines, Rob, because all these woke teachers are dying to weigh in on the ICE protests, which is just completely inappropriate unless you're going to present it like with fulsome examination of both sides, really representing the one side says this and the other side says that. But that's not how they do it, as you well know. There's a teacher in Texas who was caught on tape, Texas, Christian Shearhood, caught on tape giving the following lesson to that person's students on ICE. Listen here, SOT 55.
Is ICE above the law? No one is above the law, and if they break it, they should be held accountable, just like any of y'all, right? Can ICE lie to you?
Yes.
Yes, they can, and they absolutely will. They'll also try and bait you into saying or doing something that'll get you in trouble. Don't take the bait. Can ICE profile you?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes, they can. ICE can judge and target you based off the color of your skin, the language that you speak, or the job that you work. These are your rights. Do not open the door. Stranger danger 101. Don't answer any questions. Can I hear y'all say, I want my lawyer?
I want my lawyer.
Yes.
What the hell is this, Rob?
Well, it looks like a kind of standard teach-in or workshop that left-wing activists organize in order to, advance their preferences and, cause agitation, subvert, undermine. And, I saw some of this when I was in college and a little bit later in grad school as well.
Yale and Cambridge.
Yes. Yeah. And so, they organize these and very, very carefully and strategically find ways to, deal with the law, deal with the police, deal with the legal system. And, I remember being shocked when I was in college, learning of these, for example, these WhatsApp groups or, these chat rooms, group chats with dozens of people, 40, 50 plus people in them. And essentially, they could sort of alert the rest of the members in the group chat of, hey, there's a protest for, climate change or for LGBT or whatever the cause of that week was. And they would just send the address and the time, and they could have 40 or 50 people show up at any location within an hour's notice. And I think people underestimate just how organized and effective it is. When you look at images in the media, it often looks spontaneous or it looks disorganized or chaotic, but often behind the scenes, these things have been very well planned, often for years or decades.
A new year means new financial goals, like making sure your savings are secure and diversified. Will this be the year you decide to talk to somebody from Birch Gold Group? You've been thinking about it. They use an educated approach with a deep understanding of macroeconomics. There are forces pushing the dollar lower right now and gold higher, which is why they believe every American should own physical gold. So until January 30th, if you are a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, just text MK to the number 989898. Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you are still eligible for a rebate of up to $10,000. Consider making right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate of up to $10,000 when you buy by January 30th. Text MK to the number 989898 and claim your eligibility today. Again, text MK to 989898 now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.